Hello, and greetings to all you fans of RPGs and of Dungeons & Dragons. This is RPGmodsFan, and in this video, I will be reviewing and discussing the Dungeons & Dragons adventure, The Last Slave Lord, which was written by Robert J. Schwalb and published in Dungeon Magazine issue number 215 in June of 2013. This adventure was meant for player characters between the levels of 6 to 9. This adventure was written for AD&D First Edition rules. However, there is an appendix for converting it to 4th Edition rules. I do not think the Dungeon Master will have too much trouble converting it to 5th Edition rules. This adventure was meant to be a sequel and a conclusion to the classic A-Series Modules, also known as the Slave Lords Modules. I have already reviewed each of these modules in previous videos. Shameless plug. Please check them out. Seems Dungeon Magazine tend to print things out of order. They released an adventure called Lowdown In Highport that is meant to take place between the A0 and A1 modules. However, that adventure was released in the last issue of Dungeon Magazine, which is issue number 221, which was published in December of 2013. Again, shameless plug. I have reviewed that adventure as well in a previous video. Please check it out. The adventure's plot hook is as follows. The long nightmare is over. The slave lords have been defeated. Their wicked city, Suderham, has been reduced to ashes, along with their operations. The slave lords are dead, yet some have survived. Journey to a remote monastery to end the vile threat once and for all. This adventure takes place in the fantasy world of Greyhawk, specifically in a monastery along the southern shores of Jurley Bay. I will now be discussing the adventure itself, and this video will contain spoilers. Unless you are a Dungeon Master who will be running this adventure for your players, or are a player who already played through this adventure and are watching this video for nostalgia purposes, I would suggest not to watch the rest of this video. On the world of Greyhawk, the Scarlet Brotherhood is an order of monks of dubious character. Their base of operations is out of the Tilvanot Peninsula in the southeastern region of Flanaz. They are organized in a 3-tier structure. Martial artists are at the top tier, assassins below them, and thieves comprising the remainder. They prefer to work in the shadows and not out in the open. In the A4, in the Dungeons of the Slave Lords module, it is revealed that it is the Scarlet Brotherhood that organized and financed the slavers' operations. Stallman Klim is a human 11th level cleric. Stallman Klim was one of the most powerful and influential members of the Slave Lords. He managed to escape the disasters that occurred in the A4 module, which ended the slavers' operations. He is now hiding in an abandoned monastery where this adventure takes place. The Last Slave Lord adventure does some retconning of the D&D A-Series modules. This adventure states that Stallman Klim and Mordramo from the D&D A3 module are the same person, and that Mordramo was just a pseudonym. Funny thing is, in my video reviewing the A4 module, I suggested to replace the villain Stallman Klim with Mordramo. I guess the author of this adventure thought the same thing, albeit years before I did. However, in order to fill in an obvious plot hole, this adventure states that the player characters playing through the A4 module fought a clone and not Stallman Klim himself. There are two other villains in this adventure that are aiding the last slave lord. They are Jeffrey, a male human 10th level magic user who belongs to the Scarlet Brotherhood, and his lover, Anilda. Jeffrey believes Anilda is human and is also part of the Scarlet Brotherhood. In reality, she is a succubus. The premise of this adventure is that Jeffrey and Anilda are growing a clone of Stallman Klim in this hidden chamber within the abandoned monastery. Well, the monastery was abandoned by the original owners, but is now occupied by others. I admit, the retcon, plot hook, logic, and clones of this adventure is making my head hurt. If you are using the D&D A-Series modules and want to use this adventure as a sequel and conclusion to the series, I would suggest the following. First of all, just get rid of Stallman Klim, aka Mordramo, or whatever he is called. If any of the villains of the A3 module survived the assault, then have them here and as the main villains of this adventure instead. The adventure itself mimics what I just suggested. Player characters who participated in the A3 assault on the Aerie of the Slave Lords and the A4 in the Dungeons of the Slave Lords modules will know Salzan Mortano. He was the one they first met disguised as a beggar at the gates of Sunderham City, and the one who helped them when they were dropped into the dungeons of the Slave Lords, and the one who found them and steered them towards the slavers' ship, the Water Dragon. This adventure assumes he is still alive after the events of the A4 module. If not, the adventure advises replacing him with another NPC. He is a spy and agent for the lords of the coastal towns that were raided by the slavers. He has learned where the remaining slave lords have escaped to, and the lords of the coastal towns have commissioned him to find and eradicate these remaining slave lords. Given his prior relationship with the player characters, he will approach them and hire them for this mission. Upon accepting the mission, they will then board a caravel that Salzman has hired, and off they go, heading to the monastery of the Toiling Lady. The monastery perches on a shelf 100 feet or 30 meters above the beach. The shelf consists of 3 main levels. The yard and entrance areas are 100 feet above the beach, and the main temple and adjoining rooms are 10 feet or 3 meters above that. Finally, the furthest shelf stands 10 feet above the yard. When approaching the monastery, there are 2 immediate dangers. Where the waters are shallow, there is a chance of encountering 2 giant sea snakes that swim through these warm waters. A mated pair of wyverns roust at the top of a 100-foot or 30-meter tall rock island tower. They patrol the skies above the monastery. As trivia, a dragon has a pair of wings that can have claws or hand appendages, 2 arms, and 2 legs. Although a wyvern does have wings and legs, unlike a dragon, it does not have arms, which is the main difference between the two. So, the so-called dragons in Skyrim are not really dragons because they are missing a pair of arms. Instead, they are wyverns. Sorry for my rant, but it really annoys me when games, TV shows, and movies are either too lazy, too ignorant, or too cheap when rendering giant flying lizards with no arms, yet still insist on calling them dragons. Some of the monsters that can be encountered in the monastery while seeking the last of the slave lord or lords include water weirds, ghouls, shadows, hill giants, specters, zombies, and a fire elemental. The monastery is also full of pirates and assassins. They will flee when the last of the slave lords are defeated. The adventure is considered concluded when the player characters have defeated the last of the slave lords. Issue number 215 of Dungeon Magazine is available for purchase on the Drive-Thru RPG website. Thank you for watching. Hope this video has been informative and entertaining. Till next time, this is RPGmodsFan saying cheers, have a good day, and goodbye.